Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. Well, I just got notice of the ruling. Apparently, Obamacare is constitutional. That's just a huge shock to me. I think most of us really thought, the way at least we interpreted the Constitution, that this would just be a walkthrough for the Supreme Court. Simple, slam dunk, unconstitutional. Even the left thought that. I mean, truthfully, even some of the most hardcore leftists really truly believed that the Supreme Court would look at Obamacare for what it was and shit can it. But that didn't happen, and it just really goes to illustrate what I have been saying for a long time, and nobody seems to get, is that regardless of how you interpret the Constitution, okay, it makes no difference. It always comes down to 9 people in black robes. Those 9 people in black robes are the final say as far as the Constitution goes in this country. Now, and I know that some people just they can't wrap their mind around that, but look at what happened today and you will see that that is a fact. Okay, now here's the thing. Unconstitutional or not, the good news is, from my understanding, and I have not had a chance to really decipher this, I haven't went through it with a fine-tooth comb, which I will do, and I will report back to you on what I find. But on the surface, it does. The good news is that it looks like that they've decided that a big part of this was a tax, and the government has a right to tax people. Here's the thing. Taxes can be repealed. That's the good news. In fact, this may in the end be a real shot in the arm to the Tea Party because, as you remember, or should remember, the Tea in Tea Party was taxed enough already. Okay, so it may actually be a real boost for the Tea Party. But here's the thing, and I want you guys to understand this. It drives me crazy when I hear people say things like, "Oh, there's no difference between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama." Here's the thing: if you want to get rid of this Obamacare, you're going to have to get rid of Obama. Okay, you're going to have to get rid of Obama. You're going to have to make sure that the Republicans are in charge of the House and hopefully the Senate. That's the way you can repeal this tax, and there is no other way. So for those of you who want to sit out this election, for those of you who want to write in, candidates' names that are not capable of winning, okay, understand this: the only way that we can get rid of this, repeal this tax, is by basically showing Obama the door, literally. And then I know there are going to be people who keep harping on there's no difference between Obama and Mitt Romney, and that is just simply not true. And people will say, well, wait a minute, Barack Obama used Romney Care as a template for his health care. Let me explain something to you. If you read the Constitution, okay, anything that was not in the Constitution, okay, basically went back to the states. Now, I believe it was up to the states to decide, and Romney did a Romney Care within a state framework. All right, and I think that was perfectly constitutional. Having said that, some people could argue that, okay, and that's fine. You can argue that all you want. So you basically you give the governor the boot and repeal his health care issue. But at least he didn't do it on a national level, and he said he wouldn't. All right, maybe he's full of shit, whatever. I don't know, but I do know one thing. Obama's leading us down a rat hole of socialism and communism, and 4 more years of Obama will be the end of this country. I can guarantee you. Because here's the thing, remember, when Obama gets his first chance to nominate another Supreme Court justice, he will. And let me tell you how that's going to work out. Now, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said, well, Mitt Romney's just going to nominate liberal judges too. Well, wait a minute. I'll take a liberal judge over an extreme leftist any day. And let me tell you, if Obama doesn't have the fear of getting reelected, holy smokes. Look what he did when he thought he had to get reelected. I mean, seriously, people, what do you think he's going to be capable of when he doesn't have to worry about running for reelection again? And seriously, I want you guys to take a step back from this and think about this. Today's ruling should illustrate to you that these 9 people in black robes are extremely important. And there's at least 2 conservative judges that are probably most likely going to step down in the next 4 years, or be of an age where they just do. Well, here's the thing: these Supreme Court justices typically, until they can't digest their own food anymore, they don't step down. But I will tell you, there's a very high likelihood, in my opinion, that Obama will be able to put minimum of 1 and probably 2 justices onto the Supreme Court. These people, these justices, are the people that gave you the decision today. And remember, I guarantee you, most of you, almost 100% of you, thought that this Obamacare thing was unconstitutional. Okay? So, having said that, please reconsider your position about not voting or voting for somebody that's not electable. Please. Because we need to get rid of Obama. If this does nothing else but to illustrate to you how important it is not to allow Obama to have 4 more years and not to allow him to place any more people onto the Supreme Court. Because let me tell you something. When he places extreme leftist judges onto the Supreme Court, let me tell you what's going to happen. It will alter the landscape of this country for generations. You will be affected for the rest of your life, and you're not going to like it. You are not going to like it. So anyway, I'll have more to say about this coming up. I really just wanted to kind of touch base about this and give you my initial reactions. I'm as shocked as most of you are. I really did. If there was ever a slam dunk unconstitutional moment, this was it. And the only thing that makes me glad that this is the way it went down, and please don't misinterpret when I say makes me glad. Don't think that I genuinely am happy about this, because I'm not. I'm disgusted. But the only thing that makes me glad is this may serve as, for 2 things. It may serve as a shot in the arm for the Tea Party, and it may serve as a wake-up call for people who really don't get it. They really don't get the big picture. Maybe they do now. A lot of people, I don't think for a lot of people that the Supreme Court was even on their radar. I don't even think it was even on their radar. Because ultimately what it comes down to is the decision of 9 people on black roads. And for those of you who like to wrap yourselves in the Constitution, you need to understand that, these people interpret the Constitution, not you. Okay, what you think may mean something, or the way it doesn't matter. 9 people in black robes. That's what it comes down to, and it's what it always comes down to. And I feel listen, and I can't emphasize this enough. This Supreme Court is leaning to the right. So if a Supreme Court that leans to the right is capable of deciding that Obamacare is constitutional, holy smokes. And here's the other thing. Now, the good news, like I said, the good news is that this is considered a tax. It can be repealed. That's the good news. Okay, the bad news is the Supreme Court basically has given carte blanche to the Obama administration to tax the bejeebus out of us. Now, I fully expect there to be all kinds of insane taxes. A tax on Big Macs, tax on Big Gulps, tax on everything. Everything. Because as we know, Obama's all about taxes. As we know, Obama's a socialist, and ultimately, in the end, it takes money to pay for socialist programs. And you watch and you see how this works out for this healthcare situation, because remember I just said taxing Big Macs. That will be the next big tax scheme. They want a carbon tax that you have to pay on your automotive and every other little thing that you do carbon-wise, how much heat you put out and all that stuff. I think they're going to use the Obamacare as an excuse for this. What they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, in order to lower costs for everybody, it's going to be important for us to tax bad behavior. And one of the bad behaviors is not eating your vegetables, or one of the bad behaviors is wanting a Big Mac or a burrito from Taco Bell. You can have the burrito from Taco Bell. It's just you're just going to have $1 fat tax added onto it. You can have the Big Mac and the Whopper, but you're just going to have a $1 tax added onto it. And here's the sick thing. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, well, maybe they've got a point. Maybe Americans eat too much of that stuff. And yeah, now that we're all in the same boat with healthcare, maybe there will be these liberal freaking weenies who are going to say this nonsense, and they're going to be okay with it. They're going to be okay with it. And at some point, people are, I foresee, if we continue going down this road, I foresee a revolution. I really do. I foresee a revolution. Or, if not a revolution, I foresee us becoming France. Now, I know that some of the liberals will be like, well, that ain't so bad. No, it is bad. It is bad. Because when you live in a society where you're taxed through the ass, you're nothing more than a slave. If you go to your job every single day, why do you think these people don't want to work in socialist countries? Seriously. Why do you think they don't want to work in socialist countries? Because why would they? They can't enjoy the fruits of their labor. Seriously. When you're taxed, listen, when you at the end of the day, Okay, this whole cradle to the grave thing it's nonsense. I don't know why the liberals don't see that. But when you're taxed the majority of your in the end of the day, when you can't take home any real money from your labor, then you cease to give a shit. You cease to care, literally. So that's why when you look at some of these, I mean, I remember when Sarkozy first took over as the president of France. One of his first things he tried to do was get these people to work. You know, but why would you work if the government's going to take 80% of your pay? Why would you work? You know, why would you work without a taskmaster with a bullwhip? Where's the incentive to work? You know, you look at Greece, where the majority of the people are on the government dole. They don't give a rat's ass. You know, they get to retire at like 50. You know, they work I don't know, a 10-hour work week. I mean, they don't give a rat's ass. That's the problem with socialist countries. You know, same thing with France. You know, and then when you realize this, you know, we can't afford this, we got to, you know, when there's no more, listen, the taxes are like a well. You can only go to a well so many times before it runs dry on you. You know, and then when you have to scale back and exercise a little austerity, the people burn cars and blow up shit and riot. You know. Anyway, I'm getting way off the beaten path on this. We need to repeal it by repealing Obama. End of story. Those of you who wanted to sit out this election, this should be a wake-up call that you don't get to do that. Okay, you don't get to do that unless you want front row seats to the end of our country. If that's what you want, front row seats to the horror. If you want to embrace the horror, then go ahead and sit home or go ahead and write in somebody that's not even electable. That's all I got. Let me know in the comment sections what you think. Like I said, I'm going to go through this decision and really try to figure it out, and I'll come up with another video. And so, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Take care. See ya.